Hello, Bleacher Report listeners. My name is James Hill, and welcome back to yet another stream here on the Bleacher Report app. Today, we're going to be talking about why it is possibly a change on the horizon for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers following their loss last night to the Buffalo Bills on primetime football. We had talked about that loss yesterday, some of the winners, some of the losers from that game. And look, folks, overall, it was not an easy loss, so to speak, for the Bucs, right? Again, we already talked about it yesterday, but just kind of share my screen in this situation. You take a look; it wasn't the prettiest, loss in the world for the Bucs. Again, 18-24. Came down to just a lot of different types of mistakes, right? Regarding play calling, regarding just the overall efficiency of the offense. At the end of the day, the Buccaneers were not able to get the job done. This means that they fall to 3-4, which on the surface doesn't sound terrible, right? Doesn't sound like the absolute end of the world. But whenever you take a look at the overall layout of how the Buccaneers have lost 3 games in a row now, it's not great, right? So something's got to give, something's got to change here. What does this mean for the Bucs? I see Cody in the chat, by the way, saying the Bucs need Derrick Henry. Look, that's what we're going to be covering today, is all the different types of trades that could be out there. If a trade is necessary, if so, what do the Tampa Bay Buccaneers look to possibly trade away? What are they looking to receive? And all these different types of things. We even see here, let's trade Evans, Devon White, trade Godwin, retool for the future, right? We're going to be diving into all that here in this live stream today. Thank you guys so much for being here. Again, my name is James Hill. I run the YouTube channel, MrBucsNation. And yeah, let's go ahead and dive right into it. So, look, I'm going to be kind of going over some players that I think would be good options for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The first guy I want to go over is going to be a wide receiver. I know a lot of people are saying trade Devon White, even trade for Dalvin Cook. We can talk about that in this video as well. But the first guy I want to talk about is a wide receiver, and it is current Denver Broncos wide receiver Jerry Jeudy. 6'1", 193 pounds, first round pick in the 2020 NFL draft, 15th overall. And this is a guy that I've actually talked about on my YouTube channel a good bit. I'm a big fan of Jerry Jeudy and what he offers the potential of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense. Because one thing I feel like the Buccaneers are sorely missing right now is a number 3 wide receiver. I think one thing that was pretty apparent last night is if you cover up Mike Evans and you cover up Chris Godwin in this offense, the Bucs really don't have much of an answer. Yes, Rachaad White can get some things going in the receiving game, and that's great, right? He's got to check down here, check down there. He can certainly take that some pretty far distances, but you need a third guy. Like the injury to Russell Gage earlier in the year, I think affected the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a big, big way. And I think that they can remedy that loss a little bit here by going out and getting a guy like a Jerry Jeudy, possibly. I also see some people saying getting a dynamic tight end. For this offense, I don't think the Bucs are going to use the tight end position very much. I even see some people say, in my opinion, we don't need a wide receiver. Again, my opinion personally, I think that you even heard it, right? Dave Canales was so excited to use a guy like Russell Gage, a solid third wide receiver. After Gage went down, it turned into a committee type of thing. I think that maybe changing that mentality, getting a guy that can win one-on-one matchups, getting a guy that really can, like what we were just talking about, a dynamic tight end that can stretch the field. How about a wide receiver 3 that can stretch the field if Mike Evans and if Chris Godwin are, kind of matched up, kind of locked in those types of situations? Enter Jerry Jeudy. Just to kind of talk about him real quick, I like Jerry Jeudy a lot. So far this year, if you take a look at his stats, he's got 34 targets through 6 games. Not bad at all, in my opinion. That would be third on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 286 yards, 0 touchdowns. For me, also, a catching percentage of 73.5% is not bad at all, in my opinion. But whenever I look at Jerry Jeudy, I look at a guy that, really can be a guy that can help you in a dynamic offense, right? To stretch the field, to win some one-on-ones, be it from the outside, be it from the slot. I know a lot of people are very excited about Trey Palmer. Trust me, I'm excited about Trey Palmer as well. But I think one thing that has been apparent in the offense this year is that Trey Palmer is probably a number 4 guy right now, playing number 3 snaps, right? And that's fine. He's a rookie. He's a 5th round pick, man. And I understand, rookie, let him develop. I understand that completely. I think Palmer has looked nice in some situations now, but you should always look to improve, right? And if the Buccaneers are going to want to try and go out there and want to go out there and win some football games and have as strong of an attack as they can possibly have, you might want to look to trade for a guy like Jerry Jeudy, in my opinion. Trade Shaq and Carlton or Dean and picks for Patrick Surtain. I don't think the Broncos are going to be wanting to move on from Patrick Surtain. That'd be nice, but I don't necessarily think that's going to be a thing. People are also talking about, trade for Derrick Henry. That situation's interesting, right? Just because you take a look at the offensive line. I actually do want to take a look because my friends over at Pewter Report had a really interesting note here from the Pro Football Focus and the overall offensive line as a whole. So if you take a look at this tweet right here from Pewter Report, for what it's worth, Pro Football Focus rankings through the Buffalo game, where the Bucs O-linemen rank among the league's best. Tristan Wirfs is the 6th best offensive tackle. Good. You like that. Luke Gedeke, 22nd best offensive tackle. Matt Filer, 52nd best guard. Cody Mock, 72nd best guard. Robert Hainsey, 27th best center. So, the offensive line is not playing well this year, folks. It's not. Which does beg the question, do the Tampa Bay Buccaneers trade for an offensive lineman? Yeah, that's definitely a possibility, I think. Whenever you take a look at this type of situation, I mean, should it be considered? Yeah, why not? These guys aren't getting the job done. The interior offensive line especially has been bad this year. At least Luke Gedeke, 22nd best offensive tackle. That's not just right tackles. Luke Gedeke is playing fine, all things considered. Tristan Wirfs is playing great. Filer, Mock, Hainsey, not good. Not good. So what does that mean? Do they trade for a guard? Do they trade for a center? Do they maybe switch up some things with putting in different guys there at starting positions? I think that should all be on the table. But just from what I'm seeing here, trading for a guy like Derrick Henry, right? Would it help? I don't know. I mean, because again, you've got such a poor interior offensive line play going right now. That does it even matter who's back there, right? Because if the offensive line can't block, I don't care who you are running back. You can't really get through a situation when 3 or 4 defensive linemen are hitting you right as soon as you get handed off the ball, which is what we've been seeing in a lot of situations here for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So maybe it's just switching up some guys starting wise for the Bucs. Maybe it's just, maybe it is making a trade. I don't know. But even then, getting an O lineman acclimated at that point, you may just be better off just switching out some guys with capable backups. The Bucs have Aaron Stinnie and Nick Lever, who are very capable backups. Maybe it's just not time to play one of those guys or both of those guys. I don't know. It's an interesting situation. I do want to talk about the idea of trading Mike Evans or Devon White here. And we are going to go and take a look at that. Firstly, in the case of Mike Evans, folks, I don't think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to trade Mike Evans. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, they're 3-4. Why not consider it, right? Mike Evans is 30 years old on the last year of his deal. Has meant so much to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but if the writing's on the wall, the writing's on the wall type of thing. I've seen some people say, hey, why aren't they targeting Mike Evans? Why aren't they targeting Mike Evans? He had 6 targets last night against the Buffalo Bills. Not great. It's the 2nd lowest targets that Mike Evans has gotten in a game so far this year. The Bills did a really good job of containing Mike Evans last night. But you even take a look at the stats now, 55 targets through 7 games. He's on a great pace, 507 yards. It looks like he's going to get 1,000 yards this year. He's at least on pace for 1,000 yards. A little over the pace, actually. It seems like he's going to be closer to maybe like 1,100, something like that. Is the possibility there. So, for trading a guy like Mike Evans, it just doesn't seem like a thing to do if you are in a win now type of mode, like the Buccaneers are, right? To say that this team doesn't want to win games, I feel like isn't accurate. Because Todd Bowles needs to win games if he wants to keep his job, right? He needs to win games. So Todd Bowles isn't necessarily in a position to where he can trade away their number one wide receiver. And if that was the case, that would be admitting defeat on severe levels, right? That's just the way it is. So it doesn't necessarily bode well for the Bucs in terms of their expectations this year. If they are trading away a guy like Mike Evans, I don't think they're going to do it personally. I think they are going to stick with the process. And for people who are saying, "Oh, Mike Evans might not even get 1,000 yards this year," I mean, you look so far, he's on pace, guys. He's on pace. Like every other year, he right now he's kind of like smack dab middle. He looks like he's on pace to get like around 1,100. So, it is what it is. With the trade deadline approaching, Mike Evans is going to be one of those guys where maybe people will call, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to me to trade Mike Evans at this point. Another guy I want to talk about too. I know we've been switching in and out of like screen sharing and whatnot, but Devon White. If we can take a look at Devon White, I don't know. Is it time to trade Devon White? I mean, I know I just talked about the idea of win now. In the case of Mike Evans, you don't have a guy to replace Mike Evans in this scenario, right? In the place of Devon White, Devon White's been pretty quiet this year in terms of what he's been typically good at. Yes, he has 47 tackles this year. That's great. But one thing that's so different this year is quarterback hits. 1 through 7 games, 1 interception, which is great. No sacks this year. So like Devon White is being used in such a different type of way, or is not getting the same level of production that we have seen him get in the past. And that's being disruptive in the pass game. That is hitting the quarterback. We are not seeing that this year at all. One thing that's interesting to me is that you've got SirVocea Dennis, you've got KJ Britt, guys who are young and have showcased some good things in the past. Devon White requested a trade in the offseason. We had heard nothing about Mike Evans requesting a trade, by the way. That's kind of another reason there. But hey, if the shoe fits, is it time to move on from Devon White if somebody calls? Can you trade him for a draft pick, or trade him for a wide receiver, or trade him for an offensive lineman? I don't know. It's a pretty good, legitimate question, in my opinion. That's something that maybe should be considered. And I don't think that would disrupt the win now mode that the Buccaneers have per se, because you've got 2 really solid rookies that you can throw in there. Whereas with the Bucs, I'm going to be completely honest, I think losing Mike Evans is a bigger deal than losing Devon White. I think a lot of you guys would agree with that. I don't think they're going to trade Devon White. I'm just saying maybe consider it. I don't know. I mean, if the value's there and you can get an upgrade at a different position and you can slot in SirVocea Dennis or KJ Britt, 2 guys who have got some interesting upside to them, and you also see that Devon White hasn't been as important this year as, say, Mike Evans has been to this defense. I don't know. And to answer the question too, why are the Bucs in win now mode? Because Todd Bowles wants to keep his job. Point blank simple as that, right? Point blank simple as that. Todd Bowles wants to win as many games as possible so my man can keep his job. That is the simple answer there. Speaking of other trade scenarios, though, and Todd Bowles, I want to talk about a couple of guys who I think would be really interesting fits in Todd Bowles' defense. And we've talked about it. I see somebody in here talking about Carl Lawson. I don't think the Jets are going to be a team that's going to be, willing to move on right now, willing to make some trades. But I do want to talk about a couple of guys. First guy I want to talk about, and again, I talk about him on my channel, Danielle Hunter. I don't think he's going to be available, but hey, you trade like Devon White and a pick for Danielle Hunter. Why not? the dude's an absolute beast. He leads the league in the NFL. He leads the league in sacks right now for the NFL with 9. He's got 34 combined tackles. It's not going to let me pull up. Here we go. 12 tackles for loss, leads the NFL. 9 quarterback hits. Comeback player of the year, all pro, Pro Bowls. Like, the guy is really good. Danielle Hunter is. I'm going to be honest, and I think a lot of you guys would agree with this. The Buccaneers pass rush, not been very good this year. We've seen some flashes from guys like Jack Barrett's had a couple of decent moments. Kalijah Cansey's had a couple of decent moments. Joe Tryon-Shoyink has been pretty disappointing this year. We just talked about Devon White not being a force at all in the pass rush. Anthony Nelson, hasn't really done much. He had a sack yesterday, I believe. Vita Vea has had some good moments, but like we're at a situation now where Vita Vea is once again the best pass rusher on this team, and that's not a good thing per se, considering your run stopping D tackle, your nose tackle is your best pass rusher. Not necessarily the best situation for your pass rush, in my opinion. So do you make a move for some type of big name? Danielle Hunter's the first guy. It's an interesting situation, right? It's an interesting situation with Minnesota being 3-4. Danielle Hunter's another guy who, wanted a new contract, possibly requested a trade. It's just in a really weird situation. Could the Bucs swoop in and say, hey, we'll give you Devon White, we'll give you a pick, give us Danielle Hunter? I don't know. That wouldn't be a bad deal, in my opinion. Would the Vikings go for that? I don't know. It depends. Depends on how they view Devon White. But another guy I want to talk about too is a younger guy. Again, I talked about him on my channel. It is Chase Young. Chase Young with the Washington Commanders, only 24 years old, 2nd overall pick in the 2020 NFL draft. This dude's just been electric this year as well. 5 sacks this year, 9 quarterback hits. Again, Washington's kind of in an iffy space where they need to win as many games as they can as well. But this is another guy who's had some trade rumors surrounding him so far this year. Has been a guy that's been kind of in those types of trade conversations. Are the Buccaneers a team that may at least call and see what's going on with their pass rush ailing? Who knows, man? Who knows? I think it's a distinct possibility. Something's got to change. Again, people are going to ask, are the Bucs going to be buyers or the Bucs going to be sellers? I think, if anything, the Bucs would be buyers at the deadline because, again, they need to win football games. I don't think it's in. Todd Bowles doesn't want to punt on the season, right? Especially at 3-4, you're still only 1 game behind in the division if the Falcons lose this weekend. So it's not necessarily the end of the world where they're like 1. Now they were like 1-6. Maybe you be sellers at that point, but 3-4, you're still trying to compete for an NFC South title. I would think, if anything, the Bucs would be buyers in this situation. Jason Light doesn't really make a lot of moves at the NFL trade deadline. Will that change this year? It's possible. Yeah, it is certainly possible. And people talking about the defense being fine, except for Ryan Neal. Offense needs some help. Yeah, then you look at a guy like Jerry Jeudy. Maybe you look at an offensive lineman. Just to kind of take a look as well. Maybe you take a look at a guy like Dalvin Cook. That's somebody we've talked about as well. I will take a look, at the idea of Derrick Henry. You take a look at Henry, and I don't got to tell you guys how good Derrick Henry is. 425 yards this year. The Titans are in a position where they might want to trade Henry, considering they're 2-5 right now. Henry would be an interesting option, but again, it goes back to the offensive line. What are the Buccaneers going to do about this offensive line? The guys just aren't performing well at the interior. They're not blocking well, pass blocking, run blocking. That's been the main issue. So even with a beast like Derrick Henry, who can go out there and just even hand him off the ball 22 times in a game and things are going crazy, is it going to matter if the offensive line can block or not? That's the biggest question there. So ultimately, folks, I think it comes down to this, right? Are the Buccaneers, are the Buccaneers going to make a move? I don't know. It's not something we've seen Jason Light do in the past regarding trades and whatnot. Should they make a move? For me, the answer is yes, if you want to win now. And I think if you look at the situation realistically with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, They want to win now. And I know people might not agree with that, and they may think that that's a foolish line of thinking. Todd Bowles wants to win football games. He does. Point blank, simple as that. It's just the way it is. He wants to keep his job. He wants to win football games. So ultimately, I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers should be in the market for a trade if that is their goal, to win as many football games as you can. And you look at first trading 4 guys, you might look at a guy like Jerry Jeudy. You might look at a guy like King Henry. You might look at a guy like Dalvin Cook. Pass rushers, Devon Hunter, Chase Young, guys we've talked about in the past here. Those are guys you could possibly trade for. Trading away, are they going to trade away Mike Evans? Doesn't make a lot of sense if you're in win now mode. If you are looking at trading away maybe a guy like Devon White, who hasn't had a lot of good production this year, has not been doing what he's been typical of doing throughout a season. And we're 7 games into a year so far right now, and he has 0 sacks, 1 quarterback hit. Isn't the same Devon White. Requested a trade. Is not playing up to snuff. And you've got some good backup guys in Servassier Dennis and in, KJ Britt. Maybe that's a guy you look to move to maybe get an extra piece on the interior offensive line, to maybe get an extra running back, to maybe get, somebody who can help, a wide receiver. It's a pass rusher, right? That's kind of the situation. So, folks, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions about this. Do you guys think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers should make a trade? If so, what position do you want them to trade for? What do you want them to trade away? Would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions about this. Again, thank you guys so much for watching this live stream. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. As always, my name is James Hill. You guys can check me out over on the YouTube channel, MrBucsNation, where I upload everything talking about your favorite team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But guys, thanks so much for watching this live stream. Hope you all enjoyed. Check out everything here on BleacherReport.com as well for all things updated on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and really just all sports, because Bleacher Report does that, and it's great. So, guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. As always, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now. See you soon, and go Bucs.